An end update might seem impossible right now, but if Mojang really wanted to, with a few key changes, maybe there could still be a chance, and that's important, because if they don't do it right, they could end up damaging your world or even ruining how future ones grow if they ever try to modify the end. Just think about it, there are tons of players who have entire bases or even full worlds built in the end. 3 simple fixes could completely change that dimension, bring the dragon back to life and make the end 1,000 times better without breaking anything anyone's ever built there. And trust me, if they did, it would be amazing. But we'll get there. The first real problem is that your world already exists. See, when they added the updated oceans, it was awesome for new worlds, but if you had an old one, the areas you'd already explored stayed as the same boring oceans as before. Only the newly generated zones had the cool new stuff. So what would happen with the end then? It's worse, because the main island isn't a random biome, it's a fixed structure that's already there in your world. If they wanted to make it more interesting, they'd have to completely reset. And that's the problem. Your end base, your farms, everything you've ever built would just vanish into the void. Think about that, they literally can't touch it without upsetting half the community. There are so many customized worlds out there. People have bases, XP farms, massive builds. Mojang is trapped by its own rules. But even if they somehow manage to fix that, and by the way, I actually found a way they could... There's still one huge issue left, the dragon. Let's be honest for a second. What's the real purpose of the Ender Dragon anymore? It's been a controversial topic for years. Its only use is to give you a decorative egg and open the way to the end city. Think about it. It was originally meant to be the game's final boss, something to give meaning and challenge. But with all the extra content we have now, it feels a little underwhelming. You beat it, and all it really does is open the path to new content, right? So why are the credits even there if there's still more game after that? Many players just find ways to kill it in seconds. We've all seen it too many times. It desperately needs a rework, and that's more obvious than ever when you compare it to other bosses. Take the Wither, for example. You decide when to summon it, where to fight it, and you prepare your gear because it's a special event. The dragon? It doesn't drop anything useful. No farming, no special loot, nothing that makes you think, oh yeah, I want to fight the dragon again. It's a one-time boss in an infinite game? That just doesn't make sense. And that leads us to the third and maybe most important problem with the end. There's no reason to go back, because once you've got your Elytra and your Shulker, what else is there to do? In the end, basically nothing, absolutely nothing. No exclusive resources to farm, no new structures to find, no biomes to explore. It's just a dead space, a stone desert filled with Endermen that just stare at you. But what if I told you that the answer to fixing all this has been right in front of us this whole time, inside the most useless yet most obvious part of the end? Let me show you 2 ways Mojang could actually make an end update possible. The first one's simple and fun. The second one would be incredible, because it could even work in existing worlds without breaking a thing and still leave room for future content. But hold on, we'll get there. First, there's one single thing both ideas have in common as the key to improving the end right away: the dragon egg. Picture this. You defeat the dragon, as usual, the easy version we all know, and you get the egg. So far, nothing new. But in this scenario, the egg isn't just a decorative trophy, it's the key. The player would place the egg on some kind of ancient altar that appears in the end city area. And since this doesn't modify the original end world, everything you've built stays safe. The egg gets consumed and the portal opens. But this portal doesn't take you back to the main island. Instead, it sends you to what we'll call the empty abyss, a brand new dimension generated in completely new chunks, far from your main island and everything you've ever built. This first option is the easiest and most practical. Let me show you why it works perfect. It fixes every single end update problem for 3 reasons. First, your builds are 100% safe. The original island stays untouched. Your bases, your farms, everything remains exactly the same. The new empty abyss would generate in fresh chunks in areas no one has ever built in before. Mojang could add all the new biomes, structures, and mobs they want without affecting your previous world. Then, the dragon actually becomes a real boss. Inside the empty abyss, you'd find exclusive materials, maybe nightmare fragments, void essences, things like that. The only limit is Mojang's imagination. They could add new armor, tool, redstone components, or even materials needed to craft what we'll call the Corrupted Dragon Summon. Once you have that, you can go back to your main island, your untouched island, and use it to resurrect the dragon in her true form. A much harder version with brand new fight mechanics that you can face whenever you decide, just like the Wither. And if you don't want to mess up your main island, you could even summon her in the end cities, and finally there'd be a reason to go back there. Suddenly, the end would have a real purpose. First, you beat the basic dragon to get the egg. Then you use it to enter the empty abyss and gather exclusive material. You use those materials to summon the corrupted dragon whenever you're ready. Then you go back to the abyss for more resources or to fight the boss again. It's perfect. It gives the end a real purpose, a reason to return, and it doesn't affect the original island at all. The coolest part, the dragon egg would stop being just a decoration and instantly become the most valuable item in the entire game. The main island would keep its role as the final arena, and the dragon would transform from a boring formality into the true endgame challenge. But even then, there's another way to solve the end update problem. And this one doesn't need a new portal or any fancy mechanics at all, because Mojang doesn't really like doing extra work, and honestly this might actually be the most realistic option. Let me explain. Adding new end content could work simply by expanding how the dimension itself is structured. If you look at it from above, you can clearly see it's just one island, and that part doesn't need to be changed at all. They could leave it completely as is to protect old world, maybe just add some particles or lights for atmosphere, but there's so much empty space all around it, and that solves everything. If Mojang placed all the new content in that infinite void around the main island, leaving a big empty gap between the original area and the new content zone, nothing anyone has built would be affected. No farms, no bases, no build, everything stays safe. It would also add a new challenge for players, since you'd have to bridge your way across before getting your elite, and it gives Mojang nearly infinite room to add anything they want. Biomes, mobs, mineral challenges, everything. Those new minerals could even be used to craft an item that lets you summon the dragon again. And in that new battle, they could finally add new mechanics, powers, and make it feel like a real final boss, one that actually deserves the credits at the end. There's only one small issue left, not forgetting the end city. Because if Mojang does it this second way, as I just explained, the end cities would lose much of their excitement, since their only purpose would still be loot elytras and shulkers, nothing more. They'd have to add new rewards good enough to make it worth exploring every single end area again. Now tell me, does this make sense to you? If you'd like to see this idea come to life or something like it, drop your thoughts below so more people see. Who knows, maybe we'll get the final update sooner than anyone expects. But while you wait, here's a really good video for you. Go check it out. See you there.